Nous avons une question pour Madame Sandra. Je pense qu'elle nous écoute. Alors, question to Miss Sandra. Any suggestion or information where we can track or trace where medicines get abused? Abuse resistance packaging for narcotic and controlled substances.
Hi, thank you for the question. So, I mean, the prerequisite to understand where medicines are abused is a serialization, is the tracking, because only with this system, at the end, we can do an analysis on how many medicines in which countries are abused. I mean, there is also another way. It's like if something happens, if something very bad happens to the patients, of course, but to proactively track, we would need a serialization in order to understand how many and where it's abused.
Thank you for the questions. On passe maintenant à une autre question posée par Monsieur Mohamed Belmohoub to Mr. Lorenzo. Is it better to have serialization equipment inside the packaging machine or as separated equipment that do not depend of packaging technology? To Roche team, bon, on commence par celle à Mr. Lorenzo. If you can answer, Mr. Lorenzo.
Yeah, I can answer. Thank you for the question. Actually, in any case, you can have also a separate system, not linked to the, not connected to the packaging system, but you need to think about the validation of the system. Usually, in an easy way, is to integrate the camera and the printing system in an existing machine is something that the suppliers on the market can do. And in that case, there will be a validation of the machine having this new serialization system implemented. But at the end, even if you are not connecting your machine, your packaging machine with a serialization system, you should include this packaging machine in the validation flow, or at least in the final step of the testing phase, that is the performance qualification, in which the reliability of the entire validation process and also the data and machine working for the manufacturing and the packaging will be tested. So at the very end, even if there is no connection or link between the serialization system and the packaging machine, we should the validation team should consider the impact on them.
Thank you, Mr. Lorenzo. Another question from Mr. Mohammed Belmohoub to Roche team. By adding a new step to the production chain, what is the impact on the OEE and the production capacity?
Yeah, it's a difficult question for me because I'm not from the technical assessment, but I can tell you that in Roche, being a global supplier and a global manufacturer, we are using online systems, online printing for serialization, and that's why it does not have an impact on the production capacity. But maybe Lorenzo, you can have a word on that as well.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I'm reading the question.
I can read for you.
Yeah, no. I read. Okay, so for sure, this is actually also part of my presentation. The serialization to apply as the serialization system in an existing packaging line can bring some problem also in the production capacity. So also the implementation is a big challenge for a company, and different teams should be involved to evaluate if there is if can be an impact on the existing packaging line, or maybe you need to adapt the packaging line in a different way, or create buy and implement a new packaging line. In that case, maybe will be better because the machine will be new and the serialization implementation will be easier. But the topic, the question is something very important.
Thank you, Mr. Lorenzo, and thank you to Mrs. Sandra Toriani. Nous avons une question aussi, ici. Oui, vous pouvez, monsieur.
Question for Lorenzo. Since there is no regulatory document assessment for especially writing for software, serialization software, what is the important key that QA and IT team consider when identifying and selecting the most appropriate solution? Obviously, in addition to the non-functional requirement, such as security, backup, what are the most other important points that QA and IT team must consider when identifying and selecting the most appropriate solution?
Okay, so it depends first on which market will be your end market. So for which market you will sell your product, and also the type of product that you will sell. At the very end, there will be a choice between different suppliers in the market for the serialization in general, and you need to consider for an IT point of view the capability of your company, or in general the company, the pharmaceutical company should have an important effort for IT point of view, because there will be servers to maybe update or implement or set up some connection between a local system and the end-to-end and the global system. Also, the national system should be implemented. So there is several reasons to involve IT, and then QA should be part of the activity for a regulatory perspective. After the if you are going to sell something for Europe, the QA should be informed of the regulation in Europe, and according to the regulation, there will be created a validation approach, also considering the product that you will sell. For Algerian, maybe is something new for your country. So yeah, the first point for sure is also to think about what will be better for your country. As I explained in the presentation, there is mainly in the world two different approaches. The serialization modality like Europe with a centralized hub and the validation of the QR code at the end of the supply chain in the pharmacy or in the hospital, and a track and trace modality like US or Russia. And then for your country would be very important to decide what will be chosen. But from a pharmaceutical perspective, what the company should consider is the market, and then also how much product you will sell, and then there will be the validation process to implement.
Thank you. Une autre question? Voilà.
Oui, bonjour, Abdelaziz Quadria, project lead at AstraZeneca. So I have a question to Mr. Lorenzo. So from your experience in different countries, what we could consider as, realistic timelines for a serialization project implementation, including all the technical challenges we could face in a project.
Yeah, no, this is actually an important question, and thank you. This is an important topic. It depends on several things, but think about the easier scenario. Okay, just a single line to implement. Okay, from the beginning, so it's a new machine to implement. Also, a local server to implement, and then a connection with European hub. So having this simple scenario, there will be for sure around 6 months of project, starting from the FAT, from the test done on the factory of the supplier that will give you the machine with the serialization system implemented. And then considering also the people that should work on the technology implementation, and also the validation work that should be done to verify the level 1, level 2 system, and also level 3 interaction, and the site server interaction with the global site server, and then with the national. So I would say in the easier scenario is around 6 months from the beginning, from the kickoff to the go live. Then there is several other scenarios that you can consider. For example, you have already a packaging line in your site, so you need just to implement a camera printing and to validate the serialization level. So for that case, maybe 1 or 2 months less. And the worst scenario is a lot of lines. So in that case, more than one will take maybe more, in accordance to how many system needs to be validated, because the validation needs to be done not only for the serialization regulation, but also for the GMP, GXP guidelines that you need to assure to at the end release a system and validate a system.
The last question.
Yeah, Mr. Lorenzo, this is Shiva Kumar. We have multiple facilities in Biofarm. We want to avoid L4, the L4 connectivity, and can we go directly from L3 to L5? Means for European, for example, for a European guideline for uploading of data to EMBO. So can we do it from our L3 server directly to the L5, so that I can avoid a cloud-based solution which will counterfeit our data and details, actually, because we are having a strong IT team.
Yeah. Even if you will have maybe all in one site, so you don't need a global system like is level 4, right? Because level 4 is made most of all for the pharmaceutical companies that have more than one site. So in that case, you have maybe only one site and you will work just with level 3. Actually, this is a matter of interaction and connection between the serialization system and the level 5. So the actors, the suppliers like Antares, SAP, TraceLink that provide this serialization system, they have always a level 4. Therefore, there should be a discussion with the supplier to verify if it's possible to pass through level 4 and arrive directly to the level 5 without a level 4. Actually, from my experience, we were always in project with the level 4 considered. If level 4, sometimes level 4 is not of the company, but is of the company is a CMO, is a contractor. So in that case, the level 4 is the main manufacturer order that will have a level 4 connected with level 5, but usually there should be a level 4.